Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Today I'm hanging out with Big Daddy.
Day off.
Yeah, and we were going to go have a picnic on the lake, and he was going to do some fishing because he got a fishing pole and a license. But unfortunately, Mother Nature is not cooperating. It's raining and pretty overcast. So we decided we're going to go get another stamp in our Passport America book. So stay tuned. Have arrived. It is very foggy. Can you even see Big Daddy over there? That's okay. I think from what I read, we go inside, we watch a movie, learn a little bit about the railroad, and then there is another house that we go visit. So we'll take you along for the whole journey. And I'll show you around when we get inside. Bye. Okay, here we go. This is the steam locomotive. Lafayette. This is interesting. If you want to read more, just pause. There's a little replica there. Oh, so this was the first ones with horses, huh? Oh, it's moving.
The railroad coming up from over here. On a little thread.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Right.
Where is this supposed to be? Did you read up on it? Oh, this is the little house that was on the brochure.
It's on a rail, goes down to the water, and they pin it together. So it's one boat instead of three.
Oh, clever. Okay. Well, we're going to go get the book stamped, and then we're going to go watch the movie. So we'll be back with you guys in a little while. Alright, we just got done watching the movie, which is really interesting. And I learned a little bit more, so correct me if I'm wrong on any of this. They had to get the boats from one side of the Allegheny Mountains to the other side, so they used canals. And they would put the boats on, well, they used to use canals, I'm sorry, with donkeys,
the boats
right?
Came up so far up to the railroad. The railroad had built track all the way across the Alleghenies. They would put the boats on flatbed trailers and pull them up over the mountains and then put them back in the water on the other side.
Right, so they could go from Philadelphia across the Alleghenies all the way to Pittsburgh. And so that was another way to get things from east to west, because people were all moving west. And then later in the day, they were getting things coming from the west, going back to the east, where the farmers were growing things like, what were some of them? Flour,
Yeah,
feathers.
a lot of dry goods.
Yeah, lots of dry goods. So it was really interesting.
Yeah,
Alright, so we've come to the overlook. And just some informational things here. Sorry about all the sniffling. Okay, this is incline plane number 6. And they would carry on down here. They've just left this here for part of the museum. And then this is one of the engine houses. This is engine house number 6.
See how they brought the boats up on the flatbeds into here and then brought them down the other side. As one was going up, another would be coming down.
For a counterweight.
Counterweight,
right?
yeah.
Okay. Alright, looks like the lemon house is over that way. Because this is engine house number 6. And that's the lemon house. That's where we're heading, into the engine house.
Immediately, stage left if you want to get me out.
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you.
Help you out by getting you into someplace nice and warm.
So that's the wire rope.
Yes.
Okay.
That's a small section. The hemp rope was usually about 6 1/4 inches thick.
Is this the hemp?
That would be the hemp. Wow. 6 on the Allegheny Portage Railroad. My name's Jim. We try to take the history very seriously. And the engine house here is one of 10 on the Allegheny Portage Railroad. This was built somewhere between 1832 to 1833. It was opened March 18, 1834 for business, and it was a business. Initially, this entire idea of the railroad and the inclined planes was something new for the United States. They had to hire a gentleman, a Swiss engineer by the name was Sylvester Welsh, and he was able to come up with the idea of using inclined planes, which is basically a hill that they were able to pull a car up and at the same time lower a car so that one would pull the other one, so to speak. Now, is the idea? No. They were using this idea for millennium over New York. So basically stole the idea of bringing it over here. But, as we say today, he injected steroids into it because 36.5 miles, this is overcoming a mountain. Where in the old country, not so much hills. These are mountains over here. So this system here, does it work? He designed it to work basically sun up to sundown, 6 to 7 days a week. There would be, and as you can see panned right there, back in the corner is one boiler. There would be 2 of those boilers in here. They're only going to use one at a time. If you happen to go over the window, the actual steam locomotive that would be in here, they call it stationary, no wheels, is over there under would be the floorboards. This whole floor here would be covered with floorboards. And the steam locomotive would be over on the other side below the boiler. Now there'd be 2 of everything, so this is a redundant system. The engine itself would be run by 5 young men. 2 of them would be in the basement, and we have here is a giant mock-up. The actual engine house is covered by this to protect it. The actual engine house was 50 by 50 feet approximately. Some of them were bigger, some were a little smaller. They had to fit them on the crevices of hillside, so it was tough. This one had a lot of room. That rope will haul 4 tons up this hill or let down 4 tons. And it's basically simple. Every car was a box car, maybe 7.5 to 8.5 feet wide, and maybe more than 6 feet long. It was a box. If you were riding in the car because you were a passenger, your box car had windows and a seat. If it was hauling whiskey or pork or something bacon, no windows, no seats. You're paying here to get across Pennsylvania in about a week or so. Now, if it's a person, there's people on board, it's about a week. If it's freight, 10 to 12 days probably. But before that, before 1834, it's a month to get across Pennsylvania. Unless you take a stagecoach, then you pay for it because it's literally, you get jostled to death. But it's a month. So we go from that, and I'll speed it up a little to 1854 when the Horseshoe Curve opens, it's 8 hours. So it's basically, you're telling her on a business trip, we'll see you in 2 months. 20 years later, it's Friday, I'll see you Sunday. That's how fast. So we have one track the first year, it's Keystone Cops because they're coming from both ends. They did put a side track in every so many miles, so that helped. And they also marked the halfway point of all the levels. So between here and the other one would be like a mile and a half. They put a 3/4 of a mile, they put a white pole. If you got to that pole before the other guy coming from the other direction, he had to back up. And if you think road rage is new, back then we might have a gentleman's agreement. And if we could not get things settled, they might have to go to the magistrate. And the magistrate would listen, you back up. You open your mouth, you're going to jail. So you backed up. So the first year, the state has got to get a handle on this. This is nuts. This is not working the way they want it to. They're spending several $1 million on this operation from Philadelphia to Pittsburgh. This is just one, this is almost the bottleneck. So the second year, second track gets in, state starts to run it, one side, come up the other side, it settles down. Now we're getting a handle on this operation. Chivalry, I always say, ends at that door over there at the Lemon Tavern, because you on the way up, man, you got prime seat inside. It was raining. Okay, I'll hold on outside. The thing's full on the way. Now you know you're going to be going down the hill. Honey, I love you, but I'm sitting inside. You're going to hang on to the outside, because you've got anywhere between 40 to 60 to 70 people. Remember, you got off a packet boat that may have had 80 people, and you transferred to a boxcar that has some seats. And depending on how many seats there are, somebody may be doing the San Francisco cable car routine on the outside. So when you get up here, whether you walked up or rode up, your nerves are shot, you may need to go to the bar area. This whole thing lasts a little less than 20 years. And when they throw the first spike into the ground to get this thing going, they're already planning on, should we replace it? And they are. They're replacing it with the new Portage Railroad. So by the time of 1847, when Sam and Jean decide we're going back to Hollidaysburg, because this thing is pretty much shutting down, the new Portage Railroad, which is opening about a mile north, which, by the way, is right across from the Sugar Run Gap from the Pennsylvania Railroad, i.e. Norfolk Southern. They're right across from each other.
That's the one with the horseshoe bend?
That's the horseshoe curve. That's the Pennsylvania Railroad.
Okay.
We have the muleshoe curve, which is down here, not to be confused. So probably from about 1850 to 1854, this is gone. The new Portage Railroad is enacted. It bypasses all these engine houses. It's basically following the same route, sort of, as the old Portage Railroad. But the engines are more powerful. That's how fast technology is. So the Pennsylvania Railroad is not done with the horseshoe curve. It's not open. No. So they have to pay gratuity to the state of Pennsylvania for approximately 3 to 4 years to haul people and stuff, as I say, over the mountain. So when 1854 rolls around, the horseshoe curve is open, and this starts to slow down. 1857, the state of Pennsylvania will put this up for sale. Now this is 400 miles. This is 2 canals, 2 railroads, the Columbia and this, 2 reservoirs, east and western, and the first railroad tunnel in the United States for $10 million. Who buys it? Nobody at first. But who does buy it in 1857? Pennsylvania Railroad. They buy the whole thing for $7.5 million. They offer it to the state, and the state says, yeah, we'll take that, because nobody else wants it. They run it for about 3 months, and they find out this whole operation is losing money. They shut it down. They tear up the rails. That's why we have no rails other than what's reproduced out here.
Right. And
they ship it out to Chicago to use it on their railroad, Pennsylvania Railroad extension out there. So this kind of fades away into history. The mighty Pennsy on the other side of Sugar Run Gap takes over. This is basically faded away into history.
So now we're going to go look at the Lemon House, which was a sort of tavern place that people could hang out at while they were waiting on the
But there's no
train.
whiskey.
Yeah, she told Big Daddy.
It's just a house now. It's not a tavern anymore.
I said that would have been well aged if there was, but no, they took out all the whiskey.
They even had a whiskey barrel in there. They didn't have no whiskey in it.
So anyway, from somebody that doesn't really drink, it's but maybe he just because he's on his day off.
Yeah.
But
Day off, it would be nice.
We'll see you down there.
100 acres up here. If they get wind, there's surveying done up here, and they're going to put a railroad up here. Him and her have no clue what a railroad is. It's a rail on a road. That's how it's talked about. But they know it's going to transport a lot of people and a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So they basically turned their back on that and built this. We have no idea how much it cost. We don't know how long it took to build it. Ta-da, there it is. And it served the railroad from basically 1834 to about 1847, because they left there to go back to Holliesburg in 1847. So I'm guessing the craziness went down, and that was crazy because we know in the coming years after that, 10 to 20,000 people in one season went past that front door. Probably most of them went in that door. Because this is it. This is Sheetz. This is Rutter's. This is McDonald's. You're not going to get any place else to eat. And if you want to wet your whistle, that's it. We're at the top of the mountain. We're not at the middle, but we're at the top. So if you go in the front door, there'd be one lady there saying, you want something to eat? Or you can go to the bar area and find the same thing. 25 cents for a soup or a stew.
Oh,
Get
wow.
a bowl, and the reason it's a soup or stew, if you come in the morning, it's soup. By the afternoon, it's a stew.
Oh.
A little thicker by that.
Yeah, it's a little thicker. Here, let's go into the 18th century here.
Let's go into the 18th.
Ma'am, ladies first.
Thank you.
We would go in there, and one of the things that would be you would both probably be doing, one of you would be smoking a cigar, and or both of you be chewing tobacco. So you have your choice of spittoon or ashtray, and they'd be all over the place. We just have a few, they'd be everywhere.
Wow.
And you would come in, and you would either get whiskey or hard cider.
Look at the rattlesnake eye.
Oh yeah, we have those critters up here too.
There we go, back home too.
Look like this. That's the way it went into the pot. I tell the kids they don't slice and dice and scrub it. There it is. And that's another thing I've learned back then. People ate because they had to. When they ate quickly because where were they going?
To the
They wanted to
tavern.
get something to drink. The drink was the big deal. This meal would have been enjoyed by the Lemons, not by you folks coming in. You would be enjoying that. Here sitting around and talking. Mrs. Lemon always prowls. She wants to know what kind of guests she has, because if you're people with means, then you could get your whiskey or hard cider for 10 cents in a glass, small, payable up front, of course, in the fancy parlor. Now, this is reproduction. The fancy parlor is actual to the period. None of this to the house.
Okay.
I don't have nothing in the house. The colors are correct to what the boss wanted, and that was Mrs. Lemon. The building is correct, but none of the furnishings are. The floor is canvas painted over. It is a predecessor of linoleum. So if you happen to be Mrs., if you had they went to the floor, they could clean it up.
Let me find this original hook. There is a hook. Where's the chandelier? Oh, here we go. This chandelier right here, that hook that holds it, he said has been here since the building was built. That's the only original piece. And this is the fancy parlor that you got to go into if you had money. And Mrs. Lemon felt like you should be treated to this room. Let's see if we can pick a picture. There we go. I'll put that in. That's the information right there. Well, that's very nice, and he said it is decorated as it was back in the day, but it is not original furniture. And then the Lemons lived upstairs with 3 children. And then we're back to the front door. Okay, we're leaving the Lemon house, which was super interesting. We learned a lot today, didn't we?
Well, I probably won't remember it all in just about 15 minutes.
I do have the brochure, so when I do work up the video, if there's any facts that we've missed, I'll put them in the bottom.
Yeah, especially if we catch his name again in the video.
Right, he was really, really good. He knows his stuff, and it was a pleasure listening to him. And thank you. I'm gonna put the camera under it. It's raining. It's pouring.
It ain't pouring, but it's raining.
We're not in the car yet. Anyhow, we were given a great suggestion for lunch, so we're gonna go do that now. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. We'll catch you on our next video. Bye.
Bye.